Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today we have the 1 to 100 No Grade G Canon. Now this is a mass-produced mobile suit from the movie Gundam F-91, and this released, if I'm not mistaken, around the same time as the movie. So this kit is very old, and you'll see just how old in a minute here. Now, one thing that really irked me a lot about this kit was, if you watch the movie, the G Canon is actually supposed to be all white. In fact, even if you looked at the box art of it and whatnot, I have the box art as the title image, so take a peek at that again if you're curious as to how it's supposed to, or she should Google it. But instead of making this thing all white, they made it green. I'm trying to think if the heavy gun was green or not. Maybe they got that confused somehow, but regardless, I try to do something about it, make it white, but for anyone who's a veteran with painting, you'll know coloring anything just flat out white over the whatever color it is does not end well. So instead, all I really did was make it kind of a frosty looking green, or whatever you want to call this strange color here. Now this kit has a lot of stickers on it, and as you can see, that's not even bother fixing it. Stickers like hanging off and whatnot. I don't know if it's because these stickers are old or they look cheap though, honestly. It's like hard to describe what you'd want to call these stickers, but a lot of them I had to paint on, or again, I just didn't even care, just let them hang off. So it's just, again, I almost painted this entire kit, so it's too much to name, but you can basically see what's been painted. It should be pretty obvious. But one sticker in particular I want to point out was this one that's supposed to be for the cockpit hatch here. It literally just went over this front part here where my thumb is pointing at, and not the sides. I actually painted the sides red, and I'm sure you can notice it's like a darker red I painted. Same for this crouch piece here. That one has a sticker just over it, but not the sides. So if you can make that out, I painted those. Hands, these are gray. I painted black. Basically everything you see that looks black, I'll paint it gray. Try to paint some of the insides. So this is before I had a fine point marker, so some of this didn't quite come out as good as it could have. But again, you can see how much I end up painting on this thing. You know, the color separation of this thing was terrible. It literally came with two colors, I think, gray and this awful looking green here. They didn't even have a sticker for the camera. I'm not sure what color it was. Maybe I didn't have the color for it, but I know I didn't paint any of them. But moving on, we're gonna go straight to articulation. So first off, we'll start these giant cannons here. These do just about what you need them to. They go up and down. Oh, one thing I want to point out, these cannons are so big, they actually knock into the fins here in the back of the head. There's supposed to be two, but as you can see, one of them broke off from this cannon here. You can tell just by looking at it. If there's a second one, this thing would be like bending into it and whatnot. I think this one kind of got saved because it kind of always point the head when you knock them down, but just the fact that this thing is so poorly designed, the cannons are too big to even, like, you know, properly rest down on or around the head without breaking something. Is just like a testament to how poorly designed this thing was. So I don't know if you get a better look to see. You know, clearly it was supposed to be a V fin that was broken off, or fin. I don't even know what you'd call this thing. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it now. This thing has no accessories, technically. I mean, I guess you could technically call these accessories, but these are just two giant cannons pegged in. And one thing I also want to mention, these cannons here are poorly constructed. I'm surprised they've fallen off yet, but it's getting loose. But expect those to fall off all the time. Or at least you would, because I'm taking them off. But I guess technically you could call these an accessory. It's like these little pieces you would put in a place where the cans would be. And I'm going to be saying Canon a lot, but this is a Canon thing it can do. The G Canon is supposed to be a mid to long range support mobile suit. However, if so desired, they can remove the cannons like so. And I guess you can put these things over it. And this would actually kind of allow you to change the G Canon into a more of a close combat mobile suit. Because if you didn't notice already from looking around, it does have a lot of thrusters. So if you think about it, if you take off those big old cannons, now suddenly this mobile suit will probably be pretty fast. Not to mention, you probably can't tell just by looking at it by itself, but this is actually a smaller mobile suit. It's like Same size after the F-91, all those other late Universal Century suits were. In fact, F-91 was the first series, I believe, that made it the Mobile Suits miniaturized. So this is like a pioneer in that front. But moving on, back to articulation. I kind of literally took it off just so we could kind of go over the head articulation a little. And when I say a little, I mean a little, because they can't really do much. It's on a little peg here, as you can see. Arm, full 360. Only go out to the side here. It was that 90-degree bend. Shoulders are very loose. I don't even think that's supposed to be doing that, but hey, I guess you call that as articulation. 0 waist articulation. Front armor can only go up here. It's nice that they're at least separated. Waist armor can go to the side there, but it's not getting the legs anywhere near that far out. Again, 90-degree bend for the knees here. So again, you can just see how bad this movement is. Surprisingly, the ankle can move a little bit. Decent upwards in mobility, but this one probably could move up a little more, except the ankle armor here gets a little blocked. The thrusters here cannot, well, they're not supposed to move. They do, because again, poor construction. But again, that's just like a testament to how bad the articulation was on this, on these no grid kits here. So you have, of course, the hand that's on a ball joint, so it wiggles a little bit. Has a 3-1 in the thumb hands there, but this thing again has no accessories. It just comes with the cannons and that's it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the no grade heavy gun had a rifle and a shield. I'm guessing they wanted you to share the rifle and the shield this guy, because he's supposed to come with at least a rifle. I don't think the shield, because it kind of has these little gauntlet things. I think these might have doubled as shields, but don't quote me on that. So, I mean, that's it. There's not much anything else I can really go over. In hindsight, I probably could have brought the manual over, but I wasn't thinking ahead. So, it's whatever. It's not a big deal going over that anyway. This is an unboxing after all. I usually put the menus in there when I get short reviews like this, but I kind of want to put this review out of its misery. I think you guys can already see where this is going. So, putting another kit from the line out. I actually have the F-91 from this line, too. In hindsight, I don't know why I got the no grade F-91. I should have just got the master grade to start with. And in fact, spoiler alert, that no grade F-91 was so bad. Right now it's in pieces. I can't even review it right now. I have to freaking glue the entire thing, and even then it'll probably just break it again anyway. So I'll just go ahead and say, don't even think about getting a no grade F-91. Plus, not to mention, these kits are, I'm pretty sure, super duper hard to find. I doubt they did reprints of these. And moving back along, though, another thing, again, is supposed to be a little bit taller, but this thing looks a lot taller, actually. Because these, again, these are all supposed to be miniaturized mobile suits. But another thing, again, was a little bit taller than them. A lot of the commanding crossbow suits were, but we're going to move on to a normal size suit here. And then you get what I said when I said the Vic again is a little bit bigger, but still smaller. It kind of looks a bit taller than a gun, or taller, about the same size as a Guncanon, maybe because they're kind of far away. And what I was about to say, that little, whatever the heck you want to call that. But as you can see, when I put the Guncanon behind it directly, see, no, that thing's pretty small, all right. So yeah, don't let that little parlor trick fool you. It is actually small. It's just, again, the proportions on it make it look a little bit bigger. So obviously the main reason why I brought the Guncanon out is because they both have cannons. So, you know, pretend those are on the back there for a second. But as you can see, yeah, you get an idea of the evolution of the Guncanon here. So I guess that kind of covers it for the review. Probably no surprise here, but I cannot recommend this thing. I might see if I can maybe do a review of the Vic Nagina. Again, a lot of these no grade kits were really bad. Like, look at that, a shoulder can't even hold up. I'm a huge fan of F-91s. That's the main reason why I went and got some of these kits. I really like the G Canon because, again, I'm a huge fan of the Guncanon. So naturally, I had to go and pick this guy up. But I'm going to go ahead and say I regret it. Unfortunately, this is the only way to get the G Canon As of now, they have not made any high grades or any other re-releases of this suit. And the only example here is the poor example and does not justify them making another one anytime soon. But I'm still gonna cross my fingers that Bandai does it. I know the F-90 Master Grade from P Bandai has the mission packs, and one of them actually, I forget which came first, the G Canon or the F-90, but I know one of them kind of has like similar equipment to the G Canon. I'm pretty sure the F-90 came first before the G Canon though. But the one that mission pack has like the F-90 with some beam cannons on the wrist here like this thing has, and I'm pretty sure that the Vulcans too. So this basically was the justification to not do that mission pack's equipment on the F-91, because again, they just had to mass produce G Canon to fill that role. But again, I just really love the design of this suit and whatnot, and it's just like sad that this kit not only is crappy, but you know, it's very inaccurate. And I don't even argue that the proportions are a little off on it too, but maybe it is supposed to look this kind of big and bulky. But again, I could not recommend it. One, the articulation's atrocious. Two, it was poorly designed. Three, just again, the fact that this thing can't even move the cannons around and prop them down without breaking pieces on it, that's pathetic. I mean, the only thing that really was quality that came out of this thing for the focus is the fact that it did have a clear green sticker for the visor here. It's kind of hard to tell because it's so dark, but and my camera won't focus. But yeah, that was a clear piece, which kind of shows off that Bandai can do clear pieces on just about any thing. They just kind of choose not to sometimes. It is interesting that this is like has all these like the sticker decal type deals all over it, but again, they're crappy. Most of them fell off or are falling off. And the lack of accessories, that's another reason why I could recommend it. Again, the fact that they couldn't even throw in a beam rifle. I mean, I forget whether this one came first before the heavy gun or not. I want to say the heavy gun came before this did, but again, it even mentions it having the beam rifle. Oh, and beam sabers. This thing has beam sabers. I'm going to assume they're in these little pieces here, because this feels like this would open up and reveal a beam saber, but don't quote me on that. It could be here, it could be there. You never know where the beam sabers are, but it's supposed to have two of them, if I'm not mistaken, and a beam rifle. It's supposed to be its standard equipment. It never used the beam rifle in the movie, but again, the manual says it's supposed to be equipped with a beam rifle, yet it doesn't have one. And again, they couldn't even spring to put any beam sabers. And then again, sure, they use the beam sabers in the movie, but it's supposed to have them. These are standard equipment for mobile suits. So the fact that this is literally the only accessory comes with the option to take the cannons on and off, and it's just like, it honestly usually can't even stand up. It's funny too, because I had this thing sitting here for a while, waiting for me to review it whenever I got a chance. And literally every time I came back to my table, it was sitting here like this. So, I mean, maybe it's because I was kind of fiddling and playing around with it. That's why it hasn't fallen over yet. But this thing gets very loose over time. I mean, but just look at the legs flopping over when I move it like this. A good tight kit wouldn't do that. But at this point, I'm just crapping over this kit. So you get it. Don't buy it. If you can find it, that is. Geez, look at that. I'm so ready to end this review. I'm taking them off the out the frame here, but yeah, this is a rare model reviews, and geesh, the one kit that I can actually say is a rare model I do, and of course it's crappy, so it just kind of goes to show this, maybe this is the reason why people don't review some of these harder to find older kits and whatnot. They just stick with the newer, more quality ones. 'Cause I think it's safe to say just about all the older kits I've done so far I have not recommended. It's like, geez, I want to get to something I can actually recommend at some point here. So as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and tune in for the next review that hopefully I can recommend. Take care.